I'm emphasizing today, Kasoma Farouk of Uganda is navigating the Indian Ocean, where we are going to see issues concerning about the United Nations organization. So I can say in this kind of arrangement that as an international organization that was established on 24th October 1945 at San Francisco, USA, after World War II, to replace the defunct League of Nations. And it brought together the different countries of the world. It was formed following the signing of the 1941 Atlantic Charter between President Franklin Roosevelt of USA and Prime Minister Winston Churchill of Britain. We believe by this time, was formed to replace the League of what? Nations. But the hard discussion is, what were the aims of the United Nations organization? Number one, it was formed to maintain world peace and security. We believe by this time, was formed to maintain world peace and security in the post-World War II period through collective security. Therefore, it was formed to prevent the outbreak of another world war. Was formed to prevent the outbreak of another world war in this world. Another one, to enforce disarmament and stop the manufacture of dangerous weapons. We believe by this time, was formed to enforce disarmament. You remember the reappearance of arms race caused World War II. Yes. So the diplomats aimed at enforcing disarmament and stop the manufacture of dangerous what? Weapons. Another one, to safeguard the world, especially weaker nations, from military aggressors. I can tell you the military aggressors, like Adolf Hitler, used it to attack a country. So the diplomats aimed at safeguarding the world, especially the weaker nations, from the military aggressors. They didn't want the aggressors to rise up in this world again. Then to facilitate decolonization of those countries who were still under foreign domination. In other words, was formed to facilitate decolonization. In other words, all of those countries that were still under colonialism had to be given their what? Independence. This was very great. To promote international cooperation after World War II. I can tell you, international cooperation had to be promoted, where countries were meant to cooperate with one another. Another one, to find a way of bringing to justice those who committed crimes against humanity. There was an issue of finding a way of bringing to justice those who committed crimes against humanity. I can tell you, all of those people that committed crimes against humanity had to be punished. Had to be what? Punished. Let me first explain. Then to promote economic development. To promote economic what? Development. We are saying today that diplomats aimed at promoting economic development, where I can tell you the leading nations had to help struggling nations. Struggling what? Nations. Another one, to protect the environment against desertification. Yes. I can tell you today, yes, the diplomats aimed at protecting the environment against desertification, yes, through planting of trees. Yes. Very, very important. Another one, to fight against all forms of racial discrimination, yes, in the world. The issue of racial discrimination, yes, had to come to an end. Yes. In other words, the issue of discriminating people according to races had to come to an what? To an end. To eliminate international crimes like drug trafficking, aimed at eliminating international crimes like drug what? Trafficking, because many people are dealing in dangerous drugs. This had to come to an end. To rehabilitate and resettle the refugees who had been displaced. I can tell you the refugees had been displaced. These had to be rehabilitated. They had to be what? Rehabilitated. Change is rising up. So friends, you need to understand, yes, the aims of the United Nations organization. I can tell you it had great aims and objectives. That's why you honor leading thinkers like Franklin Roosevelt of USA, yes, Winston Churchill of Britain, very strategic politician, because they realized that there was a need for United Nations organization.